Hi everyone, today I'll be sharing a 12 by 12 layout for the Stamp With Me series, and I hope you guys enjoy the video and it inspires you to add some stamping to your next layout. So I want to welcome you back if you are already a subscriber to my channel. Thanks for joining me once again. And if you're not already subscribed, I do hope you consider subscribing today, and also don't forget hit the notification bell, and that way you'll know once I upload new videos. So here I'm showing you the stamp set that I'll be using on my layout, which is the Build a Plaid stamp set from Close to My Heart, and also some examples of some panels that I created using this stamp set and different color inks. So you can see here the patterns you can create, the plaid patterns you can create are endless using the patterns included in this stamp set along with your ink pads. And I will go ahead and link the stamp set down in my description box. I am a Close to My Heart consultant, so you can go ahead and use my link if you wanted to get this stamp set for yourself. And you can see there my stamps are stained because I did use some archival inks with it, but it does not affect how the images look once I use the stamps. It does not affect it at all. So today I am going to be creating a black plaid design, and I'm going to be using this American Crafts textured cardstock, and you can see there I'm tearing off the top and bottom parts of the cardstock, and I will go ahead and add the black cardstock behind it as a mat. Now I am going to be stamping in a diagonal design like I mentioned, so I placed my stamp on my long stamp block, which is also from Close to My Heart, and you can see here it does not fit the entire panel, so I will have to join it in the center. But once I put my layout together, you will not notice where it's joined up together. There are some imperfections also once I stamped off this panel, but it does not bother me at all. A lot of it I was able to cover up, and what is not covered up, I'm totally fine with it. It is hand stamped, so I was not going for perfect. So there you can see I added the center stamp, and I'm using that as a guide with my spacing in between each image that I stamp. And I'm just using the widest stamp right now to create the diagonal stripes. Once I'm done stamping off this side of my white cardstock, I will flip it over and do the other side in the same way. So here I flipped my cardstock around, and I am going in the other direction with my diagonal stripes, and I will repeat the process that I completed with the first set of stripes. So here I have my basic plaid design, and I'm adding in an accent using another stamp from the set, and this is more of a solid design, and I am gonna go once again in that diagonal stripe and add this stamp to each of those white strips you see between the ones that I added before. Now I did skip two, and I was gonna do a design where I skipped every two white stripe, but I went back in and filled those in later on. Once I was done, I went ahead and took the dots stamp, and I am adding that to every wide stamp that I added first. So here I have my stamped image all completed, and you can do whatever design you would like. This is the design I went with, where I did not repeat those dots or that second stamp on the other direction. I just did one direction for it. I felt it would be a little bit too busy if I did the other direction as well. So there you can see the pieces of white cardstock that I removed from the center panel. I did add those in next to the center panel with the ripped edge and use the black cardstock as the border on both sides. And you can also see that I flipped it around and used it in a vertical design instead of horizontal like I originally planned. And now I'm gonna go in and start embellishing using some very colorful die cuts and chipboard pieces from Vicki Boutin. And I think I used two different collections, Field Notes, and I cannot remember the second collection I used, but I did use two different ones on this layout today. And I'll go ahead and list whatever I can find online down in my description box if you want to check it out. And if I cannot find them online, I'll add the name of the collections that I use. So here I am going to just continue adding in these die cut pieces and chipboard pieces and also my title. And you can see I added some foam adhesive behind some of these elements to lift them off the page and add some dimension. So I'm going to have about 3 clusters, one to the top right, one to the left of my photo, and one to the lower right, which will be a pretty large cluster. Now at first I added my title in next to my photo on the right side, but I will bring that down below my photo eventually. And you can see those little bit of imperfection that I mentioned before where I'm trying to cover it up right now using those hearts, but I will move those down in a little bit as well. So now I'm just going to continue playing around with all of these pieces and adding them in. And here I pulled in these really large butterflies. And I just added some glue dots to the center of those butterflies and left the wings without any adhesive. That way they're lifted off the page. And there you can see where I moved everything down below my photo instead. And I eventually removed that heart from there as well. Now here I really wanted to cover up that little bit that was next to that photo, so I'm going to pull in this pattern paper from the Vicki Boutin paper pad, and I'll add that in behind my photo as a mat. And I also brought my photo over just a tiny bit more towards the right, so a little bit more of the black mat behind it would show on the left side. And I'm just going to go ahead and rearrange all of my elements on the left just to fill in the empty space that left. And there you can see my title says Say Cheese, and I also added in that word phrase next to my photo. Here I pulled out a little tin that I have bits and pieces on my desk, and I found some acetate, butterflies, and a floral piece as well. So I'm just adding a little glue dot to the center of each of those and added those to my layout. And then I'll go in with some dandelion yellow Nuvo drops. So I hope today I showed you just how easy it is to create a background using your stamps and your ink pads for your layouts. And like I mentioned before, with this plaid stamp set, the variations are endless. Now right now with my floral pattern paper that's behind my photo, I felt like I needed to have the torn edges on that pattern paper as well, just to blend in a little better with the torn edges on the other paper on this layout. So once I'm done adding these Nuvo drops, I do go in and tear the edge, and I also add another torn edge behind that piece as well. Now I will have the other ladies who's participating today linked in my description box, so be sure to go on over and check out all of their layouts today, and they're going to be sharing layouts where they stamp on there as well, so you have lots of inspiration today for stamping on your projects. And here we have some close-up shots of my completed layout. I hope you guys enjoyed it today, and if you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up before you leave, and also comment below, let me know what you think of this project. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.